Special Envoy of the Secretary General for the Ocean, Mr. Peter Thompson, along with Undersecretary General of the Office of Legal Affairs, Mr. And myself, my name is Thomas Christensen. I work with the Special Envoy as his chief advisor. In a past life, I was his chef de cabinet when he was president of the General Assembly. And Special Envoy, the floor is yours for a few introductory remarks.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you all for coming along this afternoon. I was asked by the Secretary General the other day to brief him in relation to the G7 outreach meeting which he's attending in Quebec this Saturday, the subject of which wonderful to see that, when you get to that level of G7 and they have an outreach day with all those great world leaders who are inviting in other leaders to join them for that outreach. The work that we have been doing here in this chamber and down in the other conference rooms of this building here to create SDG 14, to create the Ocean Conference and to create the follow-up to it is I said that we are in a battle for the survival of life in the ocean, and we are losing the battle. We are losing the battle on rising sea levels, deoxygenation. We are losing the battle on every front. The good news is that we know that we have to a large extent the work that was done in this building, the creation of SDG 14 and the holding of the first UN Ocean Conference. Because after that, for people to say, oh, we weren't aware, outside the door here by 4.5 feet by the end of this century. We weren't aware that 80% of our fish stocks around the world were under stress. We weren't aware that upwards. Because you can't plead ignorance anymore. You can plead apathy, but you can't plead ignorance. Because we have made the world aware. And what I will be talking about in my briefing to you is what a massive wave which went out from this building 1 year ago at the conclusion of the Ocean Conference, which has swept around the world and is creating ocean action in all of your countries and all of you. We are now fighting. And are we going to win that fight? I'm absolutely convinced that by 2030, we will have succeeded in implementing the 10 I do believe that we will get where we need to be in 2030 when we hand this over to the next generation of humans to steward our planet. On the far left, Lotte Taatnen is responsible in DESA for the communities of ocean action, which are the homes of the voluntary commitments which were made at the how that program is running, and we'll take Q&A from you at the end of that. So Lotte will speak after I have addressed you on my briefing. Next to Lotte is Thomas Christensen, who my chef de cabinet in the office next door at the presidency. He was the chef de cabinet of the previous president of the General Assembly as well, and was an integral part of Secretary General Ban Ki-moon's climate who is the special advisor on climate change. So if you have, I've asked Thomas to say a few words to you at the end of my briefing on the climate-ocean nexus and what's going on there, because that the Undersecretary General for Legal Affairs and Miguel Chares is no stranger to you all. I'm deeply grateful that he's spared a bit of his time to be with us. I know he can tell you a little bit about Ocean Day tomorrow here at the UN and some other matters. But I want to take the opportunity of him being up here on the podium to thank him. Meeting that they arranged in Paris at IOC UNESCO. Just to let you know that as far as I'm concerned, what I'm observing is there is excellent cooperation within that there is no siloing, that everybody is aware of what others are doing. And I have to tell you that, you know, whenever I need to get FAO together with, let's say, UNEP and IMO, that I'm going to bore you all with about a 30-minute monologue in 5 minutes' time. So I will hand over now to Undersecretary General Suarez to just say a few words to you. Thank you.
Thank you. To your briefing, and I just wanted to make some very brief remarks also on UN Oceans, and in my capacity as agenda and Goal 14 in particular. And if you remember at the Ocean Conference, which I think was a major success, and mostly due to you, Peter, UN Oceans as such registered a voluntary commitment to raise awareness in the major intergovernmental meetings of current ocean-related regulatory and policy frameworks and relevant members' activities. And this commitment can help draw attention to the robust international legal framework centered around the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and how full and effective the implementation is required to increase all to address all the pressures that the Special Envoy has just referred. So UN Oceans and its members are also working with the Special Envoy on the Community of Ocean Action initiative. You will hear about this in detail next. I'm very pleased to